Got a quick drill here to show you how the shoulders get stability through rotation. And so one of the most common things I see in patients with shoulder pain is that as they go to reach or press, they get this elbow kind of flaring out. And while that's not inherently bad, what often gets accompanied with that is as the elbow flares, the anterior shoulder here starts to jump forward. And I start to get in this position here where there's a lot of pressure, a lot of strain on all these anterior soft tissue structures. And so if we can get some rotation through the shoulder, that provides a more stable upper quarter and shoulder girdle. This is why in a lot of classic PT programs, one of the starter exercises is just some basic external rotation. That gets the rotator cuff fired up, but what the rotator cuff does functionally is it provides a stable shoulder and good relationship between the arm and the shoulder blade and the rib cage. So here's what we got. We're going to take a band, whatever band you have, and we're going to hold it outright, palms down. I'm first just going to set my shoulders back a little bit, and then I want to try to rotate out with my bicep and crease of the elbow going up. And so I'm just rotating. If I squeeze a little more, I got a little more band tension. I want to get a little core activation so you don't extend backwards. But what we feel here is hopefully some work kind of on the back side of the shoulder, and you might feel it's almost like kind of cinching into place. It's like getting torqued into a stable position here. And then what we can do from this position, whatever movement you're going to do for the day, we can hold it with this rotation. So I'm going to get this rotation. Let's say I'm going to bench press or do push-ups. I'm going to come in and out, start and finish in that position. Let's say I'm going to do a row. I'm going to get this here, start and finish in that position. Let's say I'm going to do an overhead press. Well, how do I do that? Well, I'm here, get that rotation. I'm going to just bend my elbows, but not change the rotation. So what that looks like in a bent elbow position is elbows flying out, because then I straighten my arms and the crease of my elbow is pointing down. So if I get crease of the elbow up, bicep up, bend the elbows, my elbow is right underneath the wrist. So this is why we do exercises like bottoms up kettlebell presses when there's some shoulder pain, because it gets external rotation to create a stable shoulder. So I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to try to keep that elbow underneath my hand as I press overhead. Man, that's crazy tough. Or I can just come out here, and maybe I just want to kind of warm the shoulders up. I'm just going to do some big reaches up and down, but I'm not trying not to let my arms internally rotate as I come up. What if you got pull-ups, or you're a climber or an aerialist? Well, let me get here, get that rotation, get overhead, and then I'm going to pull from there. So it's kind of the opposite of my overhead press. But you can see the points of my elbows are facing towards the camera, because that's how this position looks when I take a good position and I bring it up overhead. Okay? If we're on a barbell, I just got a PVC here. Let's say I'm doing a barbell deadlift or a barbell bench press. I'm going to get here. I can't bend the band because I no longer have a band, so I can't bend this PVC like I did with that band, but I can crease of the elbow, biceps up toward the ceiling. Now this is my bench press. Or if I'm going to deadlift, I'm going to get here. How do I get the upper back and shoulders engaged? Well, yeah, I want to draw my shoulders up, but then can I rotate, crease of the elbow forward, and deadlift from there? Same thing with my overhead press. I'm here. I'm going to bring it in. I got my elbows underneath my wrist or even inside, and I'm going to press from there. A lot of times as people fatigue, they start to kind of chicken wing that just a little bit. And so that's not what I want to see. I want to see elbow point straight up and down, because that's the expression of our rotation. So if you've been having shoulder pain in any movements, figure out what that movement is. I've worked with climbers where they're hanging off some kind of climbing hold, and they say, it's when I press away and then I got to press this way. That's when my shoulder feels like it comes forward and it feels unstable. So if I'm pressing away here, let's say this is kind of my climbing hold. If I got to press, well, can I then suck that shoulder down into the rotation? Or if I got to hang on something, so I'm hanging on this band here, can I not be here internally rotated, but externally rotate and get stability? So this takes the cue that many people have heard of shoulders down and back. I can't move from here. But in any position, whether I'm here or there, I can try to get stability by rotating the shoulders. So no matter what arm position you're in, even if I'm way out here, holding this way out here, it's going to be hard to rotate. My shoulder naturally wants to rotate inward. But I want to try as best I can to get the crease of this elbow and my bicep up towards the ceiling, and you can see that draws everything back. And then if I'm going to lift this overhead, I'm going to come up there, and I don't need to keep my shoulders down and back. I actually shrug a little bit, but I don't want to be here. I want to be biceps up towards the ceiling. And so if I'm here, I want to try and get there. So this is almost universal no matter what position we're in. I want to try and rotate through there. It's easiest to learn in this outstretched position because we're going biceps to the ceiling. But then anywhere we go, we want to take that same position and express it or do our best to cinch that shoulder in with some rotation. Give that a shot.